Hello, ActiveSage here on the Sage channel, and what is this we see before ourselves? Well, nothing more than a Sabiroid, a space spider. That's right, I've got my hands on a space spider model. You've probably seen, if you're, well, on Reddit, in the Space Engineers subreddit, you've probably seen a few people posting images of this son of a gun, as well as maybe the model itself. Well, where do they get it? Well, they probably get it from the game files. If you go into the Space Engineers game files in Steam, you'll go ahead and find it under Characters in Wildlife. Well, this is probably where they're getting it from, right? And they got a few other models here, like Attack Bite, Attack Front Legs. These are probably all its animations, which are also saved out as WM, or MWMs, which are model files technically, but they can also hold animations. There's also a ME_deer, a medieval engineer's deer just sitting there, as well as a black and brown version of the spider. And I suspect those might be something old that they're not going to use anymore. Back in the old days, they actually used to have dozens and dozens of character files for just the main character, for all the different colors you could choose from. Nowadays, they just use the texture work to change the color. So that's probably kind of obsolete, those two, but the other ones are animations. We're actually going to be able to look at those because I went ahead and I have access to the Space Engineers Mod Sdk, which anyone could go ahead and download. You basically click download from a specific link that the devs have given out. It's on their actual website, link in the description down below. Follow the download link there, click download, it'll pop open in Steam and you'll actually be able to download this thing. It's in the same spot, it's just in your Steam app, common Space Engineers Mod Sdk original content. And looking in here, you get the actual original FBX model files. So I've gone ahead and loaded up the standard space spider right here, the SE spider, or Sabiroid as you might want to call it, as its joints are all named Sabiroid. And from here, we can actually go ahead and look at the animations. Now, before I go ahead and load up some of these animations, I'm just going to take a look at the spider. Now, please note that the texture work here, it's the proper textures. The resolution might be a bit lower. The model might not be finished, so a few issues I'm going to point out might be changed by the time this actually gets released. But we'll start at the face, the derpy, extremely wide-jawed face. Expect its mouth to move. There's actually a joint in there. If I go ahead and turn back on joints, where do you go, joints? There we go, joints. Now we can go ahead and click them. A little difficult to see them in here, oddly enough. Boop. But there you go, you can see its full skeleton right there. The Sabiroid. It's got its own lower jaw that we can go ahead and tweak and move. So, I keep going too far because I'm not used to this. From right. It can, of course, also move its own head if I was to actually have selected the right joint. So there we go. Nice movement ahead. A few vertexes being pulled here. They seem to be currently attached to its actual rumpus section. We can move its whole body. We're not going to do that right now. We can even move its big carapace thing, the back section I was talking about. So you can almost imagine having some sort of animation where it beats that on the ground. We also can move its stinger separately, so it actually does have a stinger. I don't know if this is going to have poison or not. It actually has an attack that uses that, I'll show in a second. It also has its fanciful arms. I'm going to show you just how one of them works. Fair few joints. It's pretty self-explanatory, honestly, to look at them. But there is some weirdness with them that I'm just going to point out. So you can see they move down there. Look right here. Focus your eyes on that point. The arms are separate. It's like the old 90s games where the actual limbs were not plugged in, and that's terrifying to think of an arm launching forward. So it's a bit odd that. I suspect it might be because if the creature dies, its arms might actually pop off. Who knows, maybe something of that sort will be in the future. Let's go ahead and just rotate this around so you can see it. They've got a few texture stretching right here. I might have pushed this arm a bit too far as there's a clipping through issue thing right there. That's my fault. Because on the other side you can see it doesn't. This part here stretches if you go past the point where you're not supposed to, but when you bend it back, it actually pushes in, which actually creates a pretty cool effect of having this sort of area that bends into it, like it's got its hard carapace on the outside. And you can see here, this sort of bulges out. It's got its very Starship Trooper feel, especially up here. And then we can move this arm about. Again, a bit of stretching. I suspect this just isn't finished, as eventually I suspect this will be the area that stretches, as it looks like it's built to stretch. Again, this is still work in progress, stuff that I suspect I've got my hands on, not the finished product. And then, of course, you can also, if we just bring this up here, we can also go ahead and just rotate this joint here. And, yeah, you can even move his little blade things if it wants to wave at you. Hello! no, I just want to be your friend. And then, of course, it's got one little dinky one on the end, because that's how bones work. You have to have a little one at the end in these things. Just in case anybody was like, what's that last little one? That's what that is. Okay, I think that's most of it for the joints inside. We can, of course, grab the body and move the whole thing as a whole, but that just does this right now. Don't expect these harder sections to actually animate within themselves. Okay, well, it's time, and actually, just rotating it like that, it's like we've made a whole new animation, or a new pose, hasn't it? Like now it's like, it's about to jump at you, it's like leaning forward and it's about to smash these down and lunge forward. Ignoring its mouth in the sand though. Maybe it's getting a drink in a very, very drink menacing manner. Well, let's go ahead and turn off the bones now and I'll load up those animations because you don't necessarily need to see those joints while it's animating about. And by the way, I did pose these guys just for first shot there. And let's click and drag some animations in. So, wildlife, we'll start out with attack bite. How about that? Actually, I've just decided we're going to start out with a different one. We're going to start out with burrow, because these sons of guns are going to be burrow. I haven't actually seen an animation that's dedicated to it just standing still, an idle animation, so I suspect you're never going to see one just standing out in the plains of a desert or hiding around a tree in a forest. They're always going to be under the ground, I suspect. So let's go ahead. I'm just setting a few little things here. Oh, no, not that number. There we go. And let's click play on this. And it's a 45 frames animation, so it takes up 45 frames. You can see the son of a gun comes jumping out of the ground. And I'll actually go ahead and just click through this really quickly and drag through it, I should say. I think the proper word is scrub. And you see, boop, if you ever see that, you know you're in trouble. And up comes Captain Spider-Pants. Ready to bite your face off. And it's actually pretty great, too, if you look right here. His legs are all intertwined with one another. They're all, like, at the top, they're pushing through. And for the most part, there's not too much clipping that goes on there. A little bit of clipping between one of the legs and the other, but overall, it's pretty well done. And it just stands right up. You can see it's very cool the way it goes, like it's pulling itself out of a hole that you can't see, and then moves itself back, getting itself the rest of the way out, and then leans back into a standard position, ready to attack you. And again, like I said, there's no idle animations, so probably right away, the second it's out, it's going to be either moving or biting or something. Or they just haven't added an idle animation yet, and it's all rampant speculation. Anyway, let's go ahead and keep clicking play on that. So, pretty awesome thing to see that thing hop out. And I believe it's only a 45 frames animation. Let's move it forward. Oh no, there's a little bit more than 45 actually on this one. Boop. So you can see it reaches its endpoint right there. It's just idle. Pretty nifty thing. Hey. Even nice little like bob right there with the animation where it bounces down. By the way, if you'd like to see a bit more of its texture work, this is a good point here, good spot here. You can just go ahead and turn off the lighting. Ignore some of the lighting issues you see here. That's just probably that's gonna be completely different in game. All the lighting is, and the texture work will probably have a normal map applied. I couldn't get it to work right, so I haven't applied it here. Overall, it's a very nifty thing though. It's a pretty good looking model, except for I don't personally like the face, but overall, very nicely done. I particularly like this sort of carapace thing here that goes over the squishy spot that you'd imagine might be easily damaged. Very, very cool thing. A great amount of work, and I love the... It almost feels veiny. Yeah, there's like a vein structure running under here. It's awesome. Anyway, let's go ahead and keep looking at a few more animations, shall we? And what do we want with the D-burrow? Well, let's first go ahead and look at the burrow. Maybe it changed its mind. Maybe it didn't like being out here after all, so it's going to grab its burrow animation, and it's going to go ahead and stick itself back underground. And get rid of that little error message. Boop! I love that little... the legs moving. And you can expect with both these animations, they'll probably have particle effects or something to hide some of it just clipping into the ground. Or, who knows, maybe the voxel terrain will deform somewhat. I doubt that. But I do think just a particle effect, and instantly this is going to look even more terrifying, especially with the previous one where you might see a puff of smoke or something and then it comes digging up. If you're curious what these things look like under the under the ground, you can see they just sort of freeze once they're on the ground because of course they're out of sight. There's no need to keep animating anything once it's out of your view, so I'm not going to keep showing stuff underground like that. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. So we've seen it burrow into the ground, we've seen it emerge back. Pretty nifty. Let's go ahead and grab some attacks now. So, it's come out of the ground, it sees you there, and it decides, son of a gun, I'm gonna bite that spaceman. Why is he treading on my turf? So, and of course the animation freezes because that's the last frame they animated. I think it's there, right there. It's 27, so we'll set it up to 30, shall we? We'll just go a loop between 0 and 30. or 1 in 30. So now you can see he's just biting at Captain Spaceman. Captain Spaceman here, he's frozen in time, so he's not going to move, but got a nasty spider biting at him. And he's like, and the spider's like, why is this guy not running? Get off my turf, you son of a bitch. Why are you causing trouble? Pretty nifty animation. The head, by the way, in almost all these animations appears to be tilted to the right. I suspect that's currently just some sort of fluke that's going to be fixed. It is a bit odd that it always seems to be tilted to the right. I don't know, maybe just something in their spider culture that requires that. Also, if I didn't mention it earlier about the different color spiders, the white areas on this spider, that's what can be colored just the same way a Space Engineer's outfit can be colored. Those white areas will be whatever color they choose. Okay, so we got him biting. Captain Spaceman ain't running away. He's a son of a gun. He's not being logical. Well, let's go ahead and give him a... Oh, God, look at that. He's just barely missing him. He's real pissed now, Mr. Spider Pants. Look at this, like, whoop, boosh, just barely missing him. It's almost like he's going to give him a hug, but with his mouth open like that, I highly doubt that's a hug. I do not think he's going in for a hug. He's going in for a nibble. He is going in for a nibble and a bite, and oh, that's not a friendly nibble either. Man, it's a nasty spider, eh? I love his middle legs, too, the way they, like, jump. His or her, I guess, I don't know. His legs will jump forward. Oh, God. I, like, got my eyes, like, switched to the other leg, and I was like, he's moved! It's the animation changed! It's come alive! I spooked myself there. Oh, boy. Yeah, nasty, nasty spider pants here. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves... You want to see what it looks like from another angle? There you go. You can see what it looks like from another angle. So you're up on your, like, watchtower and your friends down there like, oh my God, there's a spider getting attacked. That looks creepy. I'm getting really, really good vibes from... It reminded me of Starship Troopers from that. I love that. That's fantastic. I just wish their heads were different. Maybe their heads were originally going to look like the ones from Starship Troopers, but they're like, let's not get sued. Anyway, we also have a stinger attack, so let's drag that in here. Oh, Yvey. Still not running away. The hug wasn't enough. Now he's just swinging right at him. He's just about getting him in the crotch with a big stinger. He is trying to poison him. Foosh! Like, that hit is so strong. It's well animated, this. Fuck! The fuck you? Go! Why you not leave? I love it. It's great. It's really well done. And almost all of these seem like they're perfect with just 30 frames here. It's great. I love it. Yeah. And who knows, this might even play faster. Because this is, I think, playing back at 24 frames per second. They might ramp these up or down actually in-game. So animations could be even faster than this. What else do we got here? Well, I think that's about it. I think the last one we got is death. It's still intimidating our little soldier guy, but he's still frozen in time. The guy up in the tower's like, man, my friend's under attack, but luckily I froze him in time, so nothing can harm him until I unfreeze him, then he's just going to fall apart because he's been lacerated 100 times and stung in the crotch with a giant stinger. Well, your friend goes ahead and fires a cannon, eh? Or you fire a cannon from there, and it's going to kill Captain Spider-Pants. Oh, wait, no, it's not, because he's walking, he's running for his life, he's terrified, he knows, oh wait, I need to fix the animation, don't I? I think this one is a 15 itty-bitty-babby animation there. He's running, he's terrified, he's running for his life, but he's hung up on the soldier Captain Stasis, stuck in stasis, he just can't move, oh dear God. So yeah, here's the running animation, a pretty nifty thing. Enough to creep one out, I'd say, if you saw these running across the field. Maybe they de-burrow away from your base, or maybe at their hive. I haven't seen these signs of a hive, but I really do hope these things have hive. I do hope they do overrun your base at some times, and not just come after you, as it looks like they might, but I'd love it if they came after, like, your reactors, or if you had uranium on the planet, that's when they came out and ran for that and turned reactors into their own new hives. That'd be fantastical. That'd be great. I'd love that. So maybe you'd see these running towards your base, and you'd have yourself a real proper Starship Troopers event. But anyway, our guy up, our friend, oh wait, no, us up on the tower, we're looking down, the spider's still trying to run away. Ha! You know it's silly trying to run away, and here we go! Bam! Captain Spider-Pants is dead. Captain Spider-Pants has ceased to be. And actually, this one is a bit longer. I think this is a 50 or 45 second animation. We'll even put a little bit extra. I said second frame animation. So there we go. That's a good death. And like I said, the way those legs are set up, it's possible that after this point, maybe it switches out for another model. I haven't seen one, or maybe that's it. But I'm assuming at this point, it's going to go either to Ragdoll, it'll despawn in some way, or maybe its legs will even pop off and you can collect them as Sabiroid legs or spider legs or whatever. Overall, a pretty nifty animation. I love that this one leg right here goes like straight up, like... Boy, I kind of feel sorry for it, actually, analyzing that leg. But yep, there you go. It's even got a like little bounce if we go ahead and look at this slowly. Like, and dead. Poosh, it hits the ground right there and bounces back up. Boink. Nice little twitch even. Awesome. Great, great thing. And then, of course, you unfreeze time and your friend here just like, ceases to be and dies. Okie dokie. Well, that's that. I just thought I'd share some of the stuff that I'd found. A few more things I'm going to share just really right quick here, and we'll move this up here so you can still see that and maybe actually see what I'm doing at the same time. In the textures area here, in the actual version of the game we got our hands on, if we go ahead and pop back up to content textures, we can first off, we'll go ahead and just go to models, characters, and wildlife. So you can see the deer doe, and you can also see Sabiroid. It's actually just called Sabiroid here. So we can see its textures. It's got the full stuff you need for DirectX 11 setup. Pretty awesome. Deer doe, we don't got much. Shall we look at deer doe? Just see what this file actually looks like. Open it up in Photoshop. No, that looks about like a deer. I don't think it's the anthropomorphic deer guy. So that's just a standard deer. But we can bounce back all the way to just textures and background cube. Yeah, you didn't think I was going to go there, did you? You thought I was going to stay talking about Sabiroid stuff. Let's not have that guy clicked on. And we go to pre-render. Look at all this. There's all sorts of things in here. What the heck? What? And we pop these open, and look at this. We got nebulas. We got dust. I think this has been there before, but now we got like an Earth-like thing. So we got a fancy full Earth here. What else do we got? We got Earth Moon. So we got a moon. Bit strange that it's just our moon. And honestly, it's a bit strange that it's just our Earth, even if it's off kilter from what you might be used to. That's Africa, I'm pretty damn sure, right there. Right there. What do we got? M8, whatever this is. Oops, this one's decided it wants to be dragged in. I clicked on that wrong. What else do we got? M31. These might be things already in there. I believe these are galaxies. M32. Mercury. What else do we got? Another galaxy. Messer. PIA. Ooh, pretty. Sagittarius. Just a star. We're not going to bother. Sun, Bright, and then Venus. Look at that. So some nifty stuff here. Let's see. Does this have alpha? Yes, it does. So this is being cut out and moved around separately, like a sprite, like any particle effect. So it's possible that come planetfall, they're going to update skyboxes to randomly show, stuff out in the distance. So instead of it just being, a blank standard sky, if they want to make you go into a direction, like they spawn like a warp zone to another galaxy or something, maybe they'll show a galaxy over there. So if you fly towards that, it'll make it. Maybe it'll be a sprite and it'll fade out after a while and have a new effect there that we're not used to. Don't know, but it is interesting that they have all these things in here now, like they could just toss them into the skybox. And I'm assuming it's in the skybox just because this is background cube. And then in the final, we just have the ones that we're used to here. The standard background cube. Nice, beautiful sky we're used to. The background cube skybox. Okay, what? That's just a DDS, similar sort of thing. And then these older ones here that are now just confusified. Oh, and this is a guide, like how they all connect to each other, I guess. Bit confusing to me, even though I should know how, because that was in college. I've forgotten. Sage, how pathetic. Anyway, guys, that is that. You've seen the Sabiroid. Let's see, is this guy still sitting here? I paused the animation at some point without even intending to. Yep, so dandy. Let's not have him die. Let's assume he's going to be a friendly Sabiroid, and he's just going to hang out with us and guard our base while we're up in the stars exploring. So we're just going to have him walk. Where's that walk animation going? There we go, walk animation. There we are. And this one's only like a 15 thing, right? Boop. Yeah, there we go. So now he's just walking, and our spaceman, there's no need, Mr. Spaceman, to be afraid anymore. You can actually, Mr. Spaceman, let's go ahead and just do a little bit of turn back on our joints. Mr. Spaceman, he's your buddy now. He's your steed. We're going to go ahead and pause the animation and stick you up on top of him. Whoop, over here. So you can just ride with the Sabiroid space spider dude and have a good old time, right? You're just going to be riding right with him now. There we are. Yeah, you're kind of hovering a bit, but whatever. Gets the job done. Anyway, guys, that is that. Thank you a bunch for watching. I hope you found this informative and entertaining. And, yeah, I think I've covered pretty much everything there is to show that I've seen sitting around in these files. Hey, pretty cool stuff. Excited for planets, I am. Excited for spiders, too. I don't know if they're all going to be hostile. I'm assuming there are, since I didn't see any idle animations. And hopefully deers aren't the only neutral wildlife we might end up getting. We'll also hopefully get space deers with, like, funky antlers or something fun. I don't know. Either way, that is that. Again, thank you a bunch for watching, and I shall see you guys and gals next time. Ta-ta.